doesn't take a rocket surgeon to figure out when MacKinnon scores 0 points, Makar scores 0 points, and Mikko scores 0 points that the Avs aren't going to win. Avs lose to the Minnesota Wild 4-2. You just can't put yourself in a hole against good teams. It's just too hard to come back. Something the Avs have done too much of this year. And while a lot of people will tell you the Avs can't beat good teams, they have plenty of wins against good teams this year, but they don't come from starting behind and coming back. Technically, they came back on Edmonton a few times if you consider them a good team, but not the point. The vast majority of these were from ahead when Colorado beats good teams. The Avs struggled in the first 10 minutes, just did not start the game on time. That one, no excuses. You just need better. And even if it's the goalie doing it, turnovers are still bad. So Georgiev is going to come under pressure as this puck slowly comes to him, and he does need to play it in one way or another. But you have to check. He has to turn his head. He has plenty of time to check and see what's going on this side of the ice up the boards. Beyond that, you would also like to see the Avs communicating with him, and that doesn't really happen. You also have a little bit of floating through the middle. Just not very good stuff here. So Georgiev tries to reverse this and reverses it right to a Wild player. Just bad. Just all the way around bad. That puck gets through. It's a little bit sloppy, but Minnesota's able to maintain possession, and as this puck gets sent down, you can already see the Avs had sent it. They thought they were out of the zone. They are not playing defense. They do not care. And this guy on the back door is entirely uncovered. And Makar does a good job. He tries. He does his best. But with no one covering back, whether it be MacKinnon or Taves, blame whoever you want, this one becomes free really fast. That sums up the game right there. The Avs just could not get out of their own way all night. All of Minnesota's goals come directly off of errors from the Avs. They didn't get outplayed. They outplayed themselves. Very quickly, this game was also riddled with horrible reffing for both teams. Don't think it really affected the game that much. The Avs were their own demon on this one. They weren't going to pull this out. That's on them. Just thing of note. Through a sequence of those bad penalties, Byram springs himself out of the penalty box on a breakaway, and the Avs get back into this game. A 4-on-3 is expiring here for Minnesota. A bit of a weird spot, but a nice save by Georgiev floats out. The Avs are in good position to collect this. I don't think this was on purpose. You're going to see Jack Johnson go to collect it and Compher just flail at it and whack Johnson's stick into it, and it ends up being a wonderful pass. You know, looking at it again, it was pretty pitchforked. I think they knew Bo was coming out. That's actually a nice play. It's not very accurate, but it doesn't have to be because Bo has so much space coming out of that penalty box. He's able to collect. Bo walks in and does a great job to finish here. He finds his spot. He knows Gustafsson's just a little bit off his angle, and he's going to beat him clean blocker side. At that moment, it looked like the Avs had gotten away with their slow start, and they get the reset. They can get back into this game. They can start playing the way you know they can and have at least a chance at it, certainly a better chance than they had. But they continue to have just disastrous shifts where mistakes pile up on top of each other to the point that it's no longer reconcilable. Everything about this goal is just absolutely horrible from Colorado. The initial engagement is not particularly effective. Minnesota's able to keep possession and get up the boards. Newhook is the first guy to this puck. All he has to do is get this puck out of the zone and the Avs are safe. But he ends up losing the battle entirely, not even really contesting it very well. That's terrible. The Avs now chasing the play a little bit, getting a little bit discombobulated in the defensive zone. A puck comes down low. Sam Girard just completely flubs it. Just entirely flubs the puck. What should have not been a dangerous play at all is now a battle for the puck right in front of the blue. This is a long, terrible battle that Girard just loses cleanly. And all of that time, you watch Georgiev just sit here. Doesn't adjust at all, does not move his body, does not prepare for if the Avs may lose this battle, and that causes him to just get beat. I haven't pulled this one out in a while, but goals don't come off of one mistake. They come off of multiple mistakes stacked on top of each other. It's why you have teammates. When you make a mistake, you need your teammate to bail you out. When none of you bail each other out and it's all mistakes, yeah, you're going to get scored on every time. The Avs have to stop having shifts like that. Make teams beat you because they're better than you, not because you played poorly. And that at times is why it's hard to quantify how good the Avs are, because the whole of their game, the Avs played a lot better than their worst shifts, but they got punished for their worst shifts. You don't love that, but even still, it's a 1-goal game. You can fight with that. And the second period was pretty even and well fought. It was two good teams going at it for the most part, at least until the Avs get on a power play. And when your best players let you down, it's just backbreaking. MacKinnon's gonna get a shot blocked here, and the puck's gonna slowly float out towards the blue line. Right here. Cale Makar has to make a decision. He either has to go for this puck, or he has to back off. Have to just fully decide, fully commit to one of those things here. Neither of them is wrong necessarily, but you have to do one of them. And he just doesn't. He thinks about committing, then he thinks about backing out. Then he reaches for the puck and stops skating entirely, and now he's made no decision and accomplished nothing, and he's just not in the play anymore. And that results in a breakaway that ruins the Avs. Bad decisions was the Avs' problem for the most part. You can throw in execution as well, but bad decisions are directly at fault for leading to 2 of the 3 goals here. That one you just can't have. Cale Makar has to do a better job than that. If Makar YOLO'd, went all in, whiffed it, and gave up a breakaway, I would even be less mad than what actually happened, because that is a nothing play. Makar accomplishes nothing no matter what there. He gets the same result as if he went all in and failed. He just doesn't do anything. What should be your best opportunity to score and tie this game back up on the power play is now the game-winning goal for Minnesota. And from that point on, I give the Avs a lot of credit. They really pushed. I think the effort was there. After the first 10 minutes, the Avs were working hard, putting the effort in. They had good shifts where they were hemming in Minnesota, really pushing. They just weren't executing. Particularly Mikko Rantanen had a number of really good opportunities, and he just couldn't finish one. Gustafsson in net for Minnesota played extremely well. That guy you can absolutely tip the cap to. He was better than the Avalanche. The Avs do eventually grind it out and get it back to within 1 again. Full 200 feet. This is what it looks like when the Avs are playing their best. A chip up off the wall to get the Avs going the right direction. It's collected in the neutral zone very nicely by Erod. They battle through. Compher's able to pick it up and get into the zone. He gets it in deep enough that allows his help to come. He now has Sam Girard there because Erod tied up in the middle. Girard's got space to work with here. Girard collects it. He already knows what he wants to do with it. Minnesota's way overcommitted. If he gets this through, the Avs are looking great. And that's exactly what he does to Taves. Taves has to take it on the backhand because it's not a perfectly accurate pass, but it's good enough. Now, this switch back has left Eller just enough space on the back door. Taves hits him perfectly, and it's a beautiful redirect. A beautiful play, a beautiful finish by Lars Eller. That's what makes the Avs dangerous, is because even on a night where the execution isn't there, even on a night where they have some tough shifts, they can flip it immediately. They can put together a beautiful play and it's in the back of your net, even when your goalie's playing great. But the ability to do that on any given shift just matters a lot less when they're down 2. They can't put themselves in that hole. And the goal comes a little bit too little, too late. The Avs aren't able to get the next one and get back into it. It's just tough. You know the Avs are better than that, and they didn't play like it. And it's fair to say, they let an opportunity slip through their fingers here. They could have been first in the Central after this game. Instead, they are clearly second, and now they no longer control their own destiny. It's by a very thin margin, but it's still true. You wanted better out of the Avs in what was a big game. An empty netter ultimately makes it 4-2 on your final, and the Avs go home unhappy with themselves. I still have faith in Colorado, especially in a 7-game series. The Avs have done a good job across this stretch of not putting 2 bad games back to back. That's something that bodes very well when you're playing more than just a 1-game series against a team. But I do also think it can be a little bit disappointing when they're not winning those big games. The next one they play on Saturday is against Dallas. And with this loss, that one you really need to see a win out of. Even if the Avs don't play well through these last couple weeks of the season, they're still going to make the playoffs. But it would be nice to have a little bit more confidence in the few games they have against quality teams. You'd like to see the Avs show it, at least some. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our coverage. I am Rudo, and let's just get to the playoffs.